Did you know that 36% of all airline reviews on TripAdvisor cite flight irregularities such as delays and cancellations as the leading cause of passenger dissatisfaction? This staggering statistic highlights just how common issues can arise when traveling by air. In this video, we'll decode the fine print of airline policies to ensure you're prepared and know your rights so you won't be denied boarding your flight. Before we begin, a staggering 99.5% of our viewers are not subscribed to our channel. Do us a favor, if you like our videos, please click the thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. It will help us more than you know. Carry-on luggage issues have become a major headache for travelers, with airlines enforcing a strict carry-on crackdown. Oversized bags often lead to gate checking, risking separation from your belongings and potential loss or damage. Some airlines now impose last-minute fees up to $100 for checking oversized bags at the gate. Even correctly sized carry-ons aren't guaranteed a spot in the increasingly crowded overhead bins, potentially forcing you to check them anyway. While hesitation to check bags is understandable given airlines' spotty track records with luggage, refusing to comply with carry-on policies could result in denied boarding. New challenges have emerged too, such as budget airlines charging for any carry-on larger than a personal item, and regulations surrounding smart luggage with built-in batteries. When packing, remember that less is more in this new era of air travel. That oversized suitcase might not just cost you extra fees, it could jeopardize your entire trip. Watch our video on new carry-on rules to avoid surprises at the gate. Missing the gate closing time is a travel disaster waiting to happen. Airlines typically shut the gate 15 minutes before departure time, but this timeline can shift without warning. Once that gate closes, it's game over. No amount of pleading or bribery will get you on board. In fact, some airlines now use AI-powered systems to optimize departure times, potentially closing gates even earlier if all checked-in passengers are present. Imagine sprinting through the terminal only to see your plane pushing back from the gate, a sight that's becoming increasingly common in our efficiency-obsessed world. But it's not just about the gate closing time. Check-in cutoff times can be equally treacherous, especially with the distractions of modern airports. From gourmet dining experiences to virtual reality lounges, airports are becoming destinations in and of themselves, making it easy to lose track of time. Add to this the potential for unexpected security delays or navigating unfamiliar terminal layouts, and you've got a recipe for missed flights. Pro tip: set multiple alarms on your phone, including one for the check-in deadline and another for when you absolutely must be at the gate. In the high-stakes game of air travel, punctuality isn't just a virtue, it's your ticket to actually reaching your destination efficiently and on time. At least that's their plan. Check-in cutoff time is the silent assassin of travel plans, often catching unsuspecting passengers off guard. Each airline wields its own set of deadlines for check-in and bag drop, and these can shift without warning, like sand in an hourglass. Most carriers require check-in between 30 to 60 minutes before departure, but this window can shrink dramatically for international flights or during peak travel seasons. The rise of automated check-in kiosks and mobile apps has paradoxically made it both easier to check in and easier to miss the cutoff, as the process feels deceptively quick until you're faced with a locked system. The consequences of missing these deadlines can be severe and swift. Airlines are increasingly using AI-driven systems to reallocate seats from late check-ins to standby passengers, sometimes even before the cutoff time officially hits. This means you could lose your seat while still technically within the check-in window. To avoid this modern travel pitfall, set up push notifications on your airline's app and consider using third-party flight tracking services for redundancy. Popular options include FlightAware and TripIt, which offer real-time updates and comprehensive travel organizing features. Some savvy travelers even use RFID blocking wallets to prevent accidental NFC check-ins at the wrong time. Popular options on Amazon include the Travando Slim Wallet and the Buffway Minimalist Front Pocket Wallet, both offering RFID protection in sleek designs. Remember, in the high-stakes game of air travel, being early isn't just courteous, it's your best defense against the ticking clock of check-in cutoffs. Ticketing mistakes are another silent saboteur of travel plans, with name mismatches being the most insidious culprit. Airlines adhere to increasingly stringent security protocols, treating even minor discrepancies between your ticket and government-issued ID as potential red flags. This zero-tolerance approach means that a simple typo, an outdated maiden name, or even the use of a common nickname can snowball into a full-blown crisis at the gate. The rise of automated booking systems and third-party travel sites has only exacerbated this issue, as travelers often rush through the reservation process without double-checking crucial details. But name mismatches aren't the only ticketing pitfall. The complexity of modern airline fare structures has introduced new ways to stumble. Hidden fees for seat selection, baggage allowances tied to specific fare classes, and non-transferable tickets can all lead to unexpected denials at the gate. Some budget airlines have even implemented strict policies on digital boarding passes, requiring travelers to use their app or face additional fees. To navigate this minefield, always review your booking confirmation immediately after purchase, paying close attention to the name, fare conditions, and any add-ons. Consider setting up a dedicated email folder for travel documentation and using a password manager to accurately store and autofill your legal name for bookings. Password managers like 1Password, Dashlane, or LastPass can securely store your information and streamline the booking process. Remember, in the high-stakes world of air travel, precision isn't just preferred, it's your passport to actually boarding the plane. Facial recognition technology is revolutionizing the boarding process, transforming airport gates into high-tech checkpoints. This biometric system, now implemented in numerous US airports, captures your facial features and cross-references them with government databases, potentially expediting your journey from check-in to takeoff. However, this convenience comes with a caveat. Opting out could lead to delays or, in extreme cases, denied boarding. The technology's rapid adoption has outpaced public awareness and regulatory frameworks, creating a complex landscape for travelers to navigate. While domestic travelers generally retain the right to opt out, international passengers face a more rigid scenario. Non-US citizens or permanent residents might find themselves with little choice but to participate, as manual verification processes become increasingly scarce. This shift raises significant privacy concerns, particularly regarding data storage and potential misuse. Some airports are experimenting with blockchain technology to enhance data security, while others are exploring alternative biometrics like iris scans or fingerprints. As this technology evolves, travelers must stay informed about their rights and the potential implications of these digital gatekeepers. The future of air travel is here, and it's staring you right in the face, literally. Airlines wield significant discretion in determining who's fit to fly, a power that extends far beyond the obvious case of visible intoxication. This fitness to fly assessment has evolved into a complex matrix of factors, including physical health, mental state, and even sartorial choices. While stumbling to the gate reeking of alcohol remains a surefire way to be grounded, airlines are increasingly vigilant about less obvious risks. Passengers exhibiting signs of contagious illnesses might find themselves subject to impromptu medical evaluations, with some carriers now employing AI-powered thermal cameras to detect elevated body temperatures. The COVID-19 pandemic has only heightened this scrutiny, with many airlines implementing strict mask policies and health declarations as part of their boarding protocols. The definition of unfit to fly has expanded to encompass behavioral and attire-related issues as well. Aggressive or disruptive behavior, even if stemming from travel stress or anxiety, can result in denied boarding. Some airlines have introduced de-escalation training for staff and are experimenting with calming technologies like aromatherapy at gates to mitigate passenger stress. Dress codes, while rarely explicitly stated, are another potential pitfall. What constitutes inappropriate attire varies widely between carriers and can be influenced by the cultural norms of destination countries. To navigate these evolving standards, savvy travelers are turning to airline-specific apps that offer real-time updates on boarding requirements and even AI-powered outfit checks. Remember, in the eyes of the airlines, your journey begins long before takeoff, and so does their assessment of your fitness to fly. overbooking remains a contentious yet common airline practice, turning gate areas into impromptu auction houses. Airlines, leveraging sophisticated algorithms and historical data, routinely oversell flights, betting on no-shows and last-minute cancellations. This calculated risk can backfire spectacularly when all ticketed passengers materialize, triggering a high-stakes game of musical chairs. The ensuing scramble often begins with airlines soliciting volunteers to relinquish their seats, dangling travel vouchers, upgrades, or even cash compensation like carrots to a rabbit. In recent years, some carriers have introduced dynamic bidding systems, allowing passengers to name their price for giving up their seat via smartphone apps, turning involuntary bumping into a reverse auction. When volunteers are scarce, airlines resort to involuntary bumping, a process governed by complex rules and the potential for significant compensation. Savvy travelers can turn this inconvenience into opportunity, with compensation potentially reaching up to $1,350 for domestic flights. However, the calculus of who gets bumped isn't purely random. Factors like fare class, frequent flyer status, and check-in time all play a role in the airline's decision. To navigate this landscape, passengers should familiarize themselves with their rights under regulations like the EU's EC 261 or the US Department of Transportation's rules. Remember, in the overbooking lottery, knowledge is your best ticket to turning a potential travel disaster into a windfall. Passenger rights in air travel are a complex tapestry of regulations, airline policies, and international agreements that can leave even seasoned travelers bewildered. While you might assume that purchasing a ticket guarantees you a seat, the reality is far more nuanced. One of the most alarming scenarios is finding yourself erroneously placed on a no-fly list, which has become increasingly common in our security-conscious world. The landscape of passenger compensation is equally intricate. While regulations like EU 261 in Europe and the United States Department of Transportation's rules provide some protections, airlines often have their own labyrinthine policies regarding refunds and compensation. The rise of ultra-low-cost carriers has further complicated matters, with some airlines now charging fees for services once considered standard, like printing a boarding pass at the airport. Some forward-thinking airlines are even experimenting with blockchain-based smart contracts to automate compensation in cases of delays or cancellations. As air travel evolves, staying informed about your rights and the latest tools to enforce them is crucial for turning potential travel nightmares into manageable inconveniences. Understanding the ins and outs of airline policies is essential for a smooth travel experience. From carry-on luggage restrictions to check-in cutoff times, knowing what to expect can save you from being denied boarding. While you may not have infinite rights as a passenger, being informed about your entitlements, like compensation for overbooking, can make all the difference. So next time you fly, keep these tips in mind to ensure you're not left behind at the gate. And if you know anyone traveling soon, make sure you share this video with them before they head to the airport. And don't forget to subscribe. From your friends at the Vacation Agent, safe travels.